518. Is Representative Monroe, the author, here for comments? Mike, please provide a summary of the resolution.
House Resolution 518 designates November 2024 as Veterans and Military Families Month in Pennsylvania.
Are there any comments on the resolution? Online. Chairman Gillen.
Yeah, very briefly regarding Veteran and Military Families Month, I think it is important to acknowledge the sacrifice and the role that families play in supporting veterans. And if they're not solid for the veteran behind the scene, then it makes deployment very difficult. And so we are grateful for the entire veterans community, including the families on the home front. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Gillen. Are there any negative votes on House Resolution 518? Seeing none, House Resolution 518 moves unanimously to the floor. Next up is House Resolution 520. I'll take a motion from Representative Gens, seconded by Representative Mako, to bring up the resolution. Representative Bellman, on your resolution, please.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, members of the committee. Each year, the President of the United States proclaims the month of September as National Emergency Preparedness Month to stress the importance of strengthening the security and resiliency of our nation through systemic preparation. Whether it's natural disasters, cyber attacks, pandemic diseases, or acts of terrorism, it's extremely important that the agencies put in place for emergency preparedness have the necessary resources to fight against these emergencies. In addition to these agencies' preparedness, we must also ensure that our neighbors, friends, and family have a plan in place for any type of emergency. Right now, folks can visit the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency's website for all type of information on dealing with these situations. I'm proud to introduce House Resolution 520 to help put emergency preparedness on everyone's radar. Thank you, Chairman.
Representative Bellman, thank you so much for your comments and for being here. Are there any questions for the representatives or comments about the resolution? Online? Chairman Gillen.
It's interesting. I'll be having a meeting today on emergency preparedness with regards to our own Capitol complex. How would we respond in the event of a biological, radiological, or other emergency here in our Capitol complex? And so we're going to make full use of the talent of our friend Olivia from York with regards to that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Gillen. Are there any negative votes on the resolution? Seeing none, the resolution moves unanimously to the floor. Next up is House Resolution 532, authored by Chairwoman Hill Evans. I will take a motion from Representative Stair, seconded by Representative Webster, to bring up House Resolution 532. Chair Hill Evans, please provide your comments.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, committee. And thank you for bringing forward House Resolution 532, which designates September 29th as VFW Day. I am so pleased to be able to do this as a lifetime member of the auxiliary for VFW 556 here in York. I am exceedingly proud and humbled to be able to present this resolution on behalf of our VFWs across the Commonwealth. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and thank you for bringing this forward.
Thank you, Chair. Are there any questions for the representative or comments on the resolution? Online? Chairman Gillen.
Our members, of course, are prepared to unanimously vote in support of this resolution. Thank you to the maker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Gillen. Any negative votes? Resolution passes unanimously and we will move the resolution to the floor. Next up is Senate Bill 531. First up, we have an amendment authored by Representative Webster, A05624. I will take a motion by Representative Scott, seconded by Representative Ham, to bring up that amendment. Representative Webster on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just very quickly, the amendment restructures the proposed Veterans Trust Fund Advisory Board just a little bit. And maybe more importantly, it prohibits expenditures from the fund itself for administrative staff salaries and similar costs. So 100% of that Veterans Trust Fund goes to Veteran Services under this amendment. And it also does add a biennial audit. And biennial in this case means every 2 years. So with this amendment, the bill creates a board to provide stewardship of the Veterans Trust Fund, comprised of 11 members plus the Deputy Adjutant General for Veterans Affairs, and that board will shape the priorities for how the trust fund is operated and expended.
Representative, thank you, and thank you for your work on this piece of legislation. Are there any comments or questions for the representative? Chairman Gillen.
Yeah, thank you very much, Representative Webster. Regarding the appointments, as I perused through the amendment here, it seems to be substantively weighted toward gubernatorial appointments. Would that be an accurate assessment of the amendment?
You're muted, Representative Webster. But it looks good, but we got to hear it. Rep Webster, you're still muted. There you go.
You mean I have to click on the microphone button? Excuse me. Yes, Mr. Chairman. And for Chairman Gillen, you're accurate that sort of the executive department, the Department of Military Affairs itself would make those recommendations, I'm sure up to the governor's level. But that is one of the impacts that they did request from the department, along with the financial considerations.
Thank you, Representative. It seems to be substantively different in a number of different areas, including the appointment. Has this been discussed on the Senate side, given that it has the feel of a gut and replace?
Chairman, I just want to get on the first question. So on the appointments being driven by the governor's office, there was a lot of discussion on that with the MVA, Senate, House. If we include legislative appointments, the issue becomes, will members simply be on that committee to drive particular projects in their districts or drive dollars to particular nonprofits? We did not want that, so this is why we went with this formulation.
Right, and in my question, I didn't suggest an alternative in terms of legislative appointments. I was just
I just wanted to
making
know,
a-
I wanted to establish where that's coming from and what the driver was.
Okay, thank you very much for the clarification. Additionally, in the body of the amendment, it discusses impactful distributions are going to be given preference. Definitionally, what is an impactful distribution, maybe in contrast to the way it had been done previously?
What page are you on? Of the amendment?
Page 2, line 1 on the copy that I have.
Got it. Representative Webster, and then I can speak on that as well. Representative
Yeah,
Webster.
I don't know that there's a legal or legislative definition of that word impactful, but obviously the motive was to make sure we're focused on helping the veterans directly, sort of within the bounds of what the Veterans Trust Fund and the services to our veteran community should be. But you're probably right. That's a less than constrained word.
I think if there was a lack of clarity, you would look to the surrounding surrounding clauses within the piece of legislation. So if you go down page 2, when it talks about the issues that will be considered and the search for subject matter experts to serve, the bill specifically mentions behavioral health, mental health, post-traumatic stress disorder injuries, physical disabilities, housing, or other social detriments of health. So when you're talking about impactful, I think the signaling of that word is to ensure that the issues that the veteran community are dealing with in a particular fiscal year are the issues that these dollars are directed towards.
Right, and for our listeners, certainly understand, completely supportive of the concept here in terms of getting to that goal. Just a few more questions. Just in general, the current system, is it broken? Is it defective? It needs recalibration? Is it not distributing the funds in an equitable manner now? Just a sense of where we're at with the status quo and why it needs to be changed.
Representative Webster.
Just a very brief answer from me, Chairman. Back to you, I suppose. For Chairman Gillen, my perspective is simply to enhance the possibilities and focus what the Veterans Trust Fund is using for. And I mentioned previously preventing veteran suicide, the mental health care and PTSD and the focus orientation. My perspective was just simply to do more and sort of reinvigorate this trust fund.
Thank you, Representative. And I would say guardrails is really what's important here. And I think that's why I urged for the performance audit. Let's say we squarely want to deal with mental health. If we want to deal with mental health and we're putting dollars in a particular fiscal year, we have a responsibility to be good stewards of those dollars. So right now, we really don't know the true impact of those dollars in on our veteran community, whether they're working, whether a particular organization is able to deliver. Now we will, because we'll perform a performance audit, and if a particular organization is not delivering, they're no longer going to get taxpayer dollars. If they are, we want to ensure that they get more taxpayer dollars so they can continue to deliver for our veterans.
So the performance audit, as well as the enumerated items regarding reviewing Veterans Trust Fund grant applications, raising public awareness, recommending the legislative or policy changes, they're recommendations. In other words, any sort of teeth to make sure these things actually happen.
That's why we're enshrining it in legislation.
Right. Currently, there is auditing. I would think that there's currently auditing.
There's not a current performance audit being done.
Okay, but it is being audited.
I believe there is an audit. I don't know the most recent audit. I don't believe it's in statute. Seth, is that correct? And to Seth's point, right, the key is, and that was one of the issues, is that it's internal metrics. This would be an external entity that would perform these audits. Representative Webster, did you have anything in addition on that?
I did not. No, thank you.
Chairman Gillen.
Yeah, a clarification on the PA Vet Connect. I understand the language here doesn't allow employees, paid employees, to be appointees. That's correct?
It's correct.
All right. How does PA Vet Connect fall into that umbrella of no paid employees?
You're talking about the geographic disbursement of the members? That's outlined in the bill.
Okay. In terms of they're being compensated.
Oh, expenses, there's no compensation. They'll be reimbursed for expenses only.
Okay. Last question I have is regarding the DMVA Regional Program Outreach Coordination, this map here, which I think it exists in its current form. But as I understand the composition of the membership, there'll be assigned an additional member for Philadelphia County and Allegheny County.
Pittsburgh
Was that-
City.
Pardon?
Pittsburgh City
Pittsburgh City, okay.
in the bill.
And Philadelphia County.
In the bill,
Okay,
yes.
Okay. I guess the question is why those designated regions? Obviously, there are high-density population areas. Is it as simple as that?
Representative Webster, and then
Yes, that is my understanding because of the number of veterans that reside in those two major cities.
All right. I don't want to monopolize here. Perhaps others have questions as well.
other questions or comments on the legislation? Representative Scott.
Don't want to belabor the point, but I do want to highlight today Representative Webster and Representative Genst, as well as Senator Pennycook, hosted a flag-raising ceremony today in Montgomery County, where I just got back from, to highlight veteran suicides. And one of the things that is incredibly important to note is that the rate is incredibly high, but I don't feel like it's capturing all of the suicides when you consider overdoses and other things that should be included in that. And what this does, what I appreciate about this legislation, is it allows for the customization of programming and dollars to be directed to where the needs are at the to the local level, with the county boards, all of them being able to customize an approach that works locally. And I think from a state perspective, us, instead of telling people and preaching how things should happen on the ground in various local municipalities and counties, this giving them the ability to customize a program that works with these dollars is incredibly important.
Thank you, Representative Scott. Other comments or questions? This amendment, again, authored by Representative Webster, does three main things. It establishes a board. It establishes policies and procedures for that board to follow. And lastly, it particularly directs the board to push out dollars and then ensures those dollars, and that we are accountable for how we're serving veterans by building in performance audits every 2 years. Are there any negative votes on Representative Webster's A05624?
Yeah, we're gonna.
We're gonna do a roll call.
Right.
Jamie, roll call on A05624.
Chairman Solomon.
Yes.
Representative Borowski. Yes. Representative Brown. Yes. Representative Genst.
Yes.
Representative Haddock. Yes. Representative Markozik. He's still on there? Yes. Representative Monroe. Yes. Representative O'Mara. Yes. Representative Pielli.
Yes.
Representative Sappi.
Yes.
Representative Scott. Yes. Representative Takak. Yes. Representative Webster.
Yes.
Representative Dan Williams.
Yes.
Chairman Gillen.
And I appreciate the good faith effort and the progress. At this point, I'm going to be a no vote. I hope to be a yes vote in the future. So my vote is no.
Representative Banta.
Designation no.
Representative Ham.
No.
Representative Krupa.
No.
Representative Mako. Representative Rigby.
Yes.
Representative Shalaba.
Designation no.
Representative Stair.
No.
Representative Stender. Representative Wattrow.
Designation no.
Representative Craig Williams.
Yes.
22 yeas, 3. Oh no, sorry. 28 yeas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 noes. Nays. 14, 15, 16, 17 yeas, 8 nays. 17 yeses, 8 noes.
Representative Webster's A05624 is adopted. I will take a motion from Representative Dan Williams, seconded by Representative Scott, to bring up Senate Bill 531 as amended. Are there any comments or questions about the bill? We'll take a roll call vote. Jamie, please call the roll.
Chairman Solomon.
Yes.
Representative Borowski.
By designation, yes.
Representative Brown.
Who?
Brown. Representative Brown.
Sorry. By designation, yes.
Representative Genst.
By designation, yes.
Representative Haddock.
By designation, yes.
Representative Markozic.
By designation, yes.
Representative Monroe.
By designation, yes.
Representative O'Mara.
By designation, yes.
Representative Paoli.
By designation, yes.
Representative Sappy.
By designation, yes.
Representative Scott. Representative Takak.
By designation, yes.
Representative Webster.
By designation, yes.
Representative Dan Williams. Chairman Gillen.
No.
Representative Banta.
Designation no.
Representative Ham. Representative Krupa.
No.
Representative Mako. Representative Rigby. Representative Shalaba.
Designation no.
Representative Stair. Representative Stender. Representative Wattrow.
Designation no.
Representative Craig Williams.
Yes.
17 yeas, 8 nays.
Thank you. Senate Bill 531 moves to the floor. Is there any other business for the committee to consider? Seeing none, we're adjourned.